Okay guys, so today we are going to work on drawing a shaded sphere. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to hold it on my side, and I'm going to draw very lightly a circle. Okay, does not need to be a perfect circle, we're just going to draw a circle. All right, now I need to add a light source. I'm using Da Vinci's rules of light, so therefore I need a light source. I'm going to add a light source to my paper. Okay, light shining down. There we go. I'm going to write the word light. This is going to be your notes, if you will. Okay, so the light shines down and it hits the sphere right here. So I'm going to add a tiny little oval. This is what we call our highlight. All right, so I'm going to label this highlight. Okay, I'll label it highlight. Now, that's my first step. My second step is what I will call directional light. Directional light hits the object like this, okay? I'm going to use a curved line because I want this to look more three-dimensional. So I'm going to make a curved, a very gentle, very light curved line like this. Okay? I want to use a very light curved line because normally I wouldn't use lines at all, but I'm doing that to show you where the pieces are. So now I'm going to take the side of my pencil and I'm going to make about a 10% value. Okay? So very light. I'm going to go like this with the side of my pencil and get some graphite on there, okay? If I do this really sloppy, it's gonna look really sloppy in the end, okay? So now I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna smooth that all out. Yeah, I'm going back and I'm smoothing, but if I'm still not careful, it's gonna look pooey, all right? We don't want it to look pooey, all right? So if I have a whole bunch of hard lines, it's gonna show, all right? So I know it probably doesn't show up very well on the camera, but it has a 10%-ish value, okay? So that is what Da Vinci called direct light. So right here is our direct light. Okay, so we have our direct light. Now, okay, we've got our highlight, we have our direct light, we're moving from the light source, so we're going to have what we call our middle tone. So basically, I'm going to take this space that's left over, and I'm going to divide it in half-ish, again with a gentle curved line, very light pencil line. I'm going to divide it in about half-ish, and I'm going to have what is our middle tone. From where my direct light started, I'm going to be adding still kind of that 10% and slowly working my way to about a 50% darkness down here, okay? So again, the side of my pencil, this is going to allow me not to have to sharpen my pencil a whole bunch. It is also going to provide me with more softer lines that I can smooth out versus a bunch of really hard dark lines that I would get with the tip of my pencil. Okay, if you have a mechanical pencil, this is much more difficult to do with a mechanical pencil. So I would ditch the mechanical pencil and I would be working with just a regular old pencil. If all you have is a mechanical pencil, well, it will work, but it's a little easier with just a regular old number 2 standard pencil. Okay, so now again, I'm going to take my finger. And the idea is I don't want to create hard division lines, okay? I want them to be soft. I want this to blend together. I don't want it to look like it's a striped something, okay? I want the colors, the value, not colors. Sorry, I said the wrong element there. Wrong vocab term there, Miss Brochet. I want the value to shift slowly. I don't want it to shift quickly. I don't want it to be black, white, okay? I want it to move and blend slowly, okay? So this is my middle tone, okay? This is what we would call our middle tone, all right? So I have my light source, I have my highlight, I have my direct light, I have my middle tone. This is what is going to be called our indirect light, the rest of our sphere. So I don't want to make this 100% black, but I want to make it dark. Now remember, I'm going to go a slow, gradual, about this tone and move it down to darker at the bottom, okay? I don't want it to jump from one value to the next really, really fast. I want it to fade, okay? I want it to fade. I want like that ombre look. I don't want harsh lines, okay? I want them to work together, all right? So it should be darker the farther away it gets from our light source. Remember that, okay? I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to blend it together. The idea is that we have smooth transitions, not lines, okay? We want transitions, we don't want big old lines, okay? Which I did pretty good, okay? I'm going to go back and I'm going to add in some more graphite down here. I want it to be a little bit darker down here where my sphere is resting on that table. I want it to be a little darker. I want it to blend together. I'm going to erase a little bit here because I've got a harsher line. So just kind of erasing it out where there's a harsher line, smooshing it together so I can kind of blend that line so it's not a harsh line. Okay, building up that tone. It's a lot easier to build up my value than it is to try to take it away. All right, again, I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I'm not trying to kill a bug here, okay? I'm just smoothing it together. All right, so there is my indirect light. Indirect light. Okay, so now moving off the sphere, okay, I have what we call a cast shadow. This is sitting on the ground, okay? So this is going to cast a shadow on the ground. So I'm going to take the side of my pencil and I'm going to draw. I've run out of paper. I'm just going to kind of air draw here and come back around this way, okay? It's a cast shadow. This light is being blocked by this sphere on the ground, therefore it is a cast shadow, okay? This is going to be my darkest area. That does not mean I'm going to spend a bunch of time on it and push a bunch of pressure on it and make it as dark as I can, but it's going to be darker than the rest of it because it is blocking the light from hitting the ground, okay? So I'm going to, okay? And I'm going to blend. I'm always going to come back and blend. All right, now don't touch your face when you've got this graphite on your finger because, you know, yeah, it's going to make a mess, all right? Don't touch other things. You're going to smear it all over the place. Some of you might already know that if you've ever tried to blend your pencil before. All right, it's still not quite dark. So I'm going to go like this.
Middle school girls track meet for today has been canceled. There will be practice after school.
It's just like being in the classroom, isn't it?
We'll have practice.
Okay, so I'm going to make this darker because it's still not dark enough, okay? Right here at the edge is going to be by the sphere is going to be one of the darker spots. So I'm going to go like that. Still with the side of my pencil. I haven't had to sharpen it a million times. My hand is not hurting. My finger is not hurting. Yeah, it's covered in graphite, but I mean, nothing is really hurting. All right? This could be darker, but it's not bad. Okay? Could be darker, but it's not bad. All right? I don't want to push my shadow to be too dark. If I push my shadow to be too dark, I'm going to have to start darkening up my sphere to make it not look odd. Oh, my pencil's rolling away from me. Stay on the table, pencil. Don't roll on the floor. All right? So what this is called our cast shadow. Okay? It's called a cast shadow. Now, we've got our main parts of our Da Vinci's rules of light, okay? We have our highlight, we have our direct light, we have our middle tone, we have our indirect light, and we have our cast shadow. I'm going to throw in a background line here. I'll put it down a little low for where I put my shadow. Erase, hardly have an eraser. It's the end of the school year, right? Okay, so I'm going to show here where the ground is. All right, my object is sitting on the ground or a table or something. Okay, throw in that background line, and I have very quickly, in less than 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes, I have Da Vinci's rules of light, creating value and making my circle look more three-dimensional. All right, as always, if you have any questions, send me an email.